guys, it's Jess from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a video that someone recommended to me like a month ago, and then my friend Lacey from Book Lovers for Life, I'll link her channel down below, someone asked her for advice about it too, and so I decided I'd go ahead and post my video. I don't know if Lacey's going to do a video about this. I would love to hear her recommendations for this video topic, and that is how to conquer the book signing. So Book Bonanza is happening this weekend that I'm filming. I have so much FOMO, it's not even funny. Book Bonanza is a huge book signing going on in Texas right now that Colleen Hoover and her Bookworm Box put together. It was in Denver last year. I think it's only the second year they've had it. They've announced the dates for next year, which is smack dab in the middle of back to school for me, so I can't go because of my job, so it's really sad because I'm experiencing so much FOMO. I want to go so badly, and it's going to happen again next year and I won't be there, but I do go to a lot of great signings. ApollyCon is definitely my favorite I've been to this past year. The first year I went, it was kind of a hot mess organization wise, so I didn't really have the best of time signing wise, but friends wise I had a blast with my friends. This past time though, in 2019, they nailed it. So nice, not stressful at all, and I loved it. And so I've also been to a bunch of other signings, and I wanted to come on here and give you guys kind of like a how-to guide for how to conquer the book signing. They're super intimidating. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot you need to do to prepare, so I'm here to tell you all about it. First, you gotta figure out what book signing you want to go to. Do you want to go to something close to you, far away? Where are the book signings? How I find out about them is I follow authors on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Facebook, I think, is the place I find the most information about book signings. Authors will be the first to announce if they're going to go to a signing, and so when I see that one of my favorite authors is going to a signing, I instantly start following that signing's Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, go find those pages. If you're not, join Facebook. That is where I get all my book signing information, and then typically they will have a sign-up link on that website that's usually linked to their Facebook. On Facebook, they typically make the most announcements. So I figured out about my Nashville signing I'm going to next year, Music City with the Bells, and the Bells signings are really popular for that group of people who put the signing on. So you might just want to follow an organization that is known for putting stuff on. So like the Love in Las Vegas people, it's always like Love in blank. They also put on a lot of signings. I'll go ahead and link down below the companies I know for sure that do signings, and I typically try to stick close driving distance for me unless I have a friend who lives there. So the only time I've flown to a signing is in Florida. I can't even remember the name now that I went to because my best friend Sarah lives there, so I stayed with her, and then I also went to ALA with her, and so I only fly where I know someone just because it makes me feel better. And so all the other signings I drive to. I drive to ApollyCon. That's a really long drive. It's like 6 hours. I'm driving to Nashville. I've driven to Kentucky. I've driven to different places in Ohio. Cincinnati, there are a couple ones. So decide if you want to drive or fly. If you fly, I highly recommend Southwest. You get 2 free checked bags. So I bring my biggest bags and check them. They do have a weight limit of 50 pounds, and so one of my friends once had like one of those things you hold and you can see how much your bag weighs. My forearms gotta work out that day. The people when I went were pretty lenient. I think I was like 51 pounds and the guy was like, it's totally fine, just go through. But you never know the attitude of the airline employees that day. So definitely decide if you want to fly or drive. I drive. I love it. So much better driving because then I get to pack my books better than packing them in a suitcase and trusting the airline with my books. So first you gotta make sure where you want to go, how you're gonna get there. As soon as you join the Facebook group and as soon as you buy your tickets, because these signings sell out so fast. Know when to buy the tickets. Music City with the Bells sold out within minutes both times. I feel like I bought it the first time around. My sister actually bought it, I think, because it was either I think I was in the middle of work and I can't stop my classroom full of kids to buy some tickets for a book signing. So my sister was at home and she decided to buy them for us. Super, super stressful. But make sure you know the exact date and time these tickets go on sale because they'll sell out within minutes, if not within hours. If you do miss out on a signing, join the Facebook page and there is going to be a post for selling tickets. A lot of people have change in plans, and so I figured out about the September signing I'm going to Readers on the River super late. It had been months since they sold out. I joined the Facebook group, someone posted, I immediately hit reply because I have the post notifications on, and I bought my tickets from her. So even though I was months late on buying tickets, I got them. So make sure you stalk Facebook if you really want to go to a signing, because a lot of people's plans change, and especially the closer it gets to the event, their plans are going to change. So don't give up. Keep on stalking that. And I was super lucky enough that the lady who I bought from had also booked in the room block. So that's my next point. So I got to buy my room block off of her, even though it was already sold out. If you are staying out of town, so even if you're driving, like for Readers on the River, I think it's a little over a 3-hour drive for me, which is a little too much to do back and forth for 2 days. So almost every single time a signing is held at a hotel, there's going to be a room block, and I think every signing I've been to has been at a hotel, if not a convention center associated with a hotel. So check out the room block. For a Polycon, that's what we do. It's so much easier to stay at the hotel the event's at. Try to find roommates to make it a little cheaper, but for a Polycon, 1 year we stayed a block away, which it was like not even a 5-minute walk, and 1 year we stayed at the hotel. I will tell you, at the hotel, it was so much nicer. We could literally go run up to our room, drop our books off, and come back with new books, while when we stayed a block away, we couldn't really go back and forth as much as we wanted to, so definitely try to stay at the hotel if you're coming into town. If you're coming into town driving, know where to park. If it's in a major city like DC, parking is super expensive, even if you're staying at a hotel. It can cost you like 30 bucks a day just to leave your car and not even touch it. And so what I do is I found Parking Panda through the Polycon like Facebook group where people are chatting about what to do about parking. For Parking Panda, it's really meant for people to park their car in a city and then go take the shuttle and go to the airport, so they don't have to pay airport parking fees. But they don't ask you your business, and so what you are allowed to do and what they've said, I think people have called them to ask them if this was okay. You can use it when you're staying in the city at a different hotel and don't plan to use in-and-out privileges. You're just gonna leave your car and not touch it the entire time it's there. And so I do that right literally a 2-minute walk from the hotel of a Polycon is a hotel that's on Parking Panda. I pay, I think, like $9 a day, if that. I think it ended up being $20 for the whole weekend for me to park my car in that underground parking garage. And so I didn't have to worry about my car. I didn't have to pay $30 a day. I got to pay 20 bucks for the entire weekend. I didn't get to take my car in and out, but I wasn't going anywhere. I was literally going to the signing and going out to eat different places around the signing and going to downtown DC where all like the monuments are. So I don't know if that's downtown. Going to the monuments in DC and you can take the metro. So I had all of my traveling plans all already figured out. So if you know that you're not going to try to go anywhere, or if it's even cheaper to take an Uber, because it probably is cheaper to take an Uber than pay to come in and out of the garage. So Parking Panda is your best friend. I will link them down below as well. Make sure you know what to do with the parking. If you're flying, make sure you figure out the shuttle, because Lacey and Sarah and our friend Michelle all came in from the plane from the airport, and there was a shuttle to our hotel. So make sure you know your name of your hotel and if there's a shuttle to and from the hotel. Another pre-signing thing to take care of are pre-orders. Now, if you've seen some of my vlogs, you know I went to a signing in the beginning of June where I didn't pre-order everything I wanted to, and the authors literally sold out within minutes of any of their popular books that they brought. They did not bring enough copies, and it made me really annoyed that within 10 minutes of the signing, they had sold out books that they brought with them. Now, I know a lot of authors will fly themselves, so they can't afford to bring a lot of extra books with them if they don't know if they'll sell or not. So if you really want a book, you have to pre-order. I do a lot of research with my pre-order, so again, Facebook is your best friend. All signings will have a, I think, at least the ones I've been to, a pre-order thread. So they will have a post, author pre-orders, and everybody's gonna have their link down below. And you have to double check at least 2 months before the signing, because they typically close them about a month and a half, a month before the signing. They'll close down the pre-order so they have enough time to order their books and sign them and bring them to the signing, or not sign them yet. And so make sure you check the pre-orders at least 2 months in advance and pre-order books you want. I go ahead and compare this price of the book that they're selling and the book on Amazon. If Amazon's gonna have a better deal, I'll buy it from Amazon. If it's the same price as Amazon, I'll buy it from Amazon so that I can read it before I see them. But sometimes they have a deal. So I'm seeing Susan Stoker in September. She has 2 for $15. So I went ahead and pre-ordered 2 of her books because I was like, that's an amazing deal. And I typically try to look at every author that's going to be there. So if they're having a really good deal on their books, even if it's 2 for $20, 10 bucks for an indie book is really good compared to Amazon, which typically has them for 15. So that's how I find new authors. I'll pre-order a book from them and make sure that I can get it from them and it's gonna be cheaper. Not all the authors do that. There are authors who don't do pre-order. So like I know T.M. Fraser, her books are normally $10 at her signings. At least every time I've seen her twice now, and both times her books were $10 at her table. So do your research and see if authors are gonna have them at their table or not. Krista and Becca Ritchie did not have a pre-order, so I went to them first when I got into a Polycon. Well, I think I got to them like second or third because I went to some popular authors first, and went to them to make sure I could get books before they sold out. So if you know an author doesn't have a pre-order, you really wanna buy a book from them because they were selling theirs cheaper than Amazon does. I went straight to their table first. So know who you want to buy from. If you're buying online, pre-order, whatnot, do that. I do make myself a spreadsheet. My friends make fun of me because I have a whole folder with page protectors of everything. I have my hotel printed out, I have my parking printed out, I have my spreadsheet printed out, I have the seating chart printed out. Everything's in my folder for me. So I do have a spreadsheet that's color-coded of authors that I already own that I'm bringing and my pre-orders. And so that lets me know that I have a pre-order from an author. Once I went to get a book signed from an author and left, checked out my chart to cross her off, and realized I had a pre-order, so I had to go back to her and get my pre-order because I forget things. And so having a spreadsheet helps you so much. As much as people make fun of you, it helps a lot. I did mention a seating chart, and almost every single signing will have a seating chart at least the day before. I have gone to some where they literally change the seating chart the next day, like the morning of the signing, because authors do cancel, even though it's kind of annoying how much authors canceled at Polycon. Authors cancel, whether it's for personal reasons, things out of their control, they'll have to cancel. So make sure you are checking updates on their websites to make sure. But if you print out the seating chart, I always highlight authors I want to see and make sure I star authors I want to get to first so I know where to go in the room if I know my game plan. Before your signing, when you have all of your books, this is typically about a day or two before I end up leaving for the signing, I will take sticky notes, write my name on them, and sticky note the signing page of the book. Typically they'll have assistants in line that will have sticky notes and a Sharpie so that they can write your name on the sticky note and put it in the book for you. It just makes the process so much easier if you do it yourself, even if they don't have an assistant. It does make it easier, and if you have like a weird spelled name or a not common spelled name, it's a lot easier for them to just open up the book, see your name already there, so they can sign it for you. So try to sticky note your books beforehand. I do that. It helps so much. The next thing you need to figure out before even getting there is how you're going to carry around your books. You need to check their policy. If they allow carts, take a cart. They're just these big square carts. I bought mine at Staples. I'll go and link one down below. I don't know if it's gonna be the one that I bought. I can, and I can also link one down from Amazon. It's just a rolly cart. They fit tons of books in them, and it's the easiest way without breaking your back at a signing. Unfortunately, it gets super crowded if you have a cart, and if everyone has a cart, I've run over people's feet before. It's just, it gets a lot. And so Polycon actually did ban carts from their signing now because of the hotel. The hotel was counting a person and their cart as two people because it takes up so much room. And so I decided to bring a backpack and a tote bag, and in my tote bag I had the authors I plan on seeing next, and as soon as I saw an author I switched them out in my backpack for my next authors. It was like a process. I had to know who I was seeing, in what order. It's a lot of planning going on, but it really saved my arms because having a backpack is so much easier to carry than two big tote bags. I did bring my giant Victoria's Secret tote bag I got for free one year, so when I do that, I do use all of my book sleeves that I own, stick all of my books in there, and if I run out of book sleeves, I'll stick books in between two book sleeves so that they're all protected, because the worst part about signings is that you really worry about ruining your book because you're shoving everything in your bags. So make sure you know if you're going to do a cart, a backpack, a tote bag, and how many books you're bringing, because the Polycon is massive, and so I had a billion books, and thankfully they split it up into two parts so I didn't have to carry all my books downstairs at once. I just had one room's worth of authors, and then we got to go out for the 2-hour break, and then we came back down and grabbed the next room of authors. So make sure you plan on how you're lugging everything around. The next thing you need to know, and it should be on Facebook or what they email out to you in the event subscribing newsletter, is the times of everything. Are they handing out wristbands? What time are they handing out wristbands? Is there a registration? What time is registration open? What time can you start forming lines? And what time does the door open? At a Polycon, there were like a million things to remember because you had to register at a certain time, and then you had to pick up wristbands at a certain time. And for that, there was a pre-sign up for wristbands for interest forms. So make sure you check out everything you have to fill out. My Readers on the River signing, there is an author luncheon. So you had to fill out the author lottery table to see what author you got to sit with. So you had to dig through everything to find links for that. So just make sure you're in the know of everything. What do you have to sign up for? What time is everything? And you need to really know what time you can start lining up. That's important because if you show up 5 minutes before the signing, you're gonna get in the very back of the line and have to wait like 10 minutes just to enter the room. So definitely make sure you know what time everything is. The next thing I love most about signings is just when I'm done with the signing, I like to wander and check out the new authors, and so definitely bring cash with you. Even if you decide to pre-order books, I bring maybe like $100 in cash so that I can buy books from authors. A lot of them do accept card, but if I let myself just buy with card, I would buy everything. So to limit myself, I set a budget. This is the amount of money I'm allowed to use on books, and so that helps me not spend too much and not walk out with like 20 new books. I will decide carefully how much money I have left, what books I want to buy, and so make sure you just peruse all the authors. You might not have heard some of them before. They might be selling books as a deal that you didn't know they were because maybe they didn't have a pre-order, like T.M. Fraser. Some of you might not know she has books for 10 bucks at her table. So bring some cash because it's the best way to budget yourself, and peruse and buy books. Now, for those of you who do have a blog or a YouTube channel or even a Bookstagram, bring business cards. I brought business cards starting, I think 2 years ago. 3 years ago, I think, is when I made my business cards. It was after ALA and I realized I didn't have any, and it would have been a really good tool to have them, especially working with publishers. But going to author signings, a lot of times I'm like, hey, I'm Jessica from Peace Love Books. I've made a couple videos about your books. I do have a Bookstagram as well where I've tagged, we've chatted. They don't know the face behind Bookstagrams, especially Bookstagrams. A lot of them will recognize me by my face but can't place me until I tell them I'm the YouTube channel, and because they might have seen some of my videos. But if you are a blogger, a Bookstagrammer, they don't know what you look like unless you're posting pictures of your face every single time. A lot of authors will know the name of your brand, your blog, but won't know you personally. So if you hand them over your card and say, hey, I'm from blah blah blah, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, yes, we like talked yesterday about my new release. And so bring your card so authors know who you are. It's not a bad thing to hand out your card to people. This is a place for book lovers, full of book lovers and full of authors who want people to support their books. So if they've talked to you before, show them who you are. And if you are excited to buy a book, say, hey, I actually have a blog and a Bookstagram. I can't wait to show off this book that I'm buying from you, and here's my card if you want to check it out. Or I love your books, I've talked about them before, and you can give them your card. What's the worst they can do? Throw it away? So it's great to do that. And also if you meet people online, one of my favorite things about book signings is talking to the people in line. I've met some really great people just by sitting in line, because sometimes you wait like hours in line. So talking to people around you, you all already know you have something in common. You all love books. So don't be scared to talk to people, and you'll probably find a ton of bloggers and a ton of Bookstagrammers around you. So give each other's cards, follow each other on Instagram right in line, talk about all the books you love, make sure you make friends with people in the line. That's probably my favorite part. And the fact that I get to see my friends who live across the country, I literally only see them once a year at book signings. Talking in line is honestly one of the best parts of the book signing, aside from meeting the authors, because you get to make new friends and really talk to your current friends. Okay, so I think that's everything I have to say. That's what's on my list that I got over here. Let me know down below if you've been to any book signings, and if you have any other tips and tricks for people who might be new to book signings or have gone to some and been super intimidated. Let me know down below. That's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.